Welcome back. This is the November 20th update for the Rising Star Expedition. My name is John Mead. The purpose of this update is to update my students as well as interested people from around the world on the Twitter feed of members of the Rising Star Expedition. So we're going to start off here. Today is day 15 of the expedition, and if you draw your attention onto the right side of the video here, and we're going to start with Dr. Berger here, day 15. Okay, encouraging people to follow on Twitter at John Hawks. You'll see a number of his tweets come in, and an amazing blog that the National Geographic Society has put up following Rising Star. That is the link to that is located on the bottom of the page that you access this from. So please make sure you check in with that, because there is a ton of great stuff. So we start off here with John Hawks. This command center, what are the odds of pulling that proximal femur anytime soon? So the proximal femur, obviously the upper part of the thigh bone for non-scientists. That is a very important bone and really the first detailed talk of that. So hopefully that will come out sometime today on November 20th. And then looking on the screen from the command center, all the meticulous work being done in the advanced chamber by Ellen, Becca, and Aliyah. I mean, that's echoing that time and time again. They have just done such an amazing job down there on very, very difficult circumstances, to say the least. We've fallen into a good rhythm. Advanced team is working on Pin 9 puzzle box, and the puzzle box is an area, some of you have heard this before, but when other parts were removed, especially the skull, what was left under there looked like just a assemblage of fossils, and it's been dubbed the puzzle box. So they're trying to work on that and to clear the sondage. The sondage is a little trench that was probably dug, probably not very deep, but clearing out the fossils and any other maybe debris that was in that. So that's what they're doing in that situation. Just came right back there, sorry. And then here we have Daryl in the Science Center is working on the teeth to sort out individuals represented. Has matched some antemeres. Antemeres would be parts that are the same on both sides, that are on both sides of a symmetrical line. So that would allow to know, do you have the right version of this tooth? Do you have the left version of this tooth? So they're trying to match that out. That will help give an idea of the number of individuals that there are. So, and the science word of the day, antemere, which I've just explained for you. And then Lindsay Eves, who's one of the advanced scientists. This is a neat thing. Because of Rising Star, South African government will build a new modern home for the family on whose land we camp, water and electric. It's really great to see that because of a worldwide event like this, the local people on that land are benefiting. So kudos to the South African government on that. Then from John Hawks, about a half hour of very careful brushing, sediment, brushes, toothpicks, then scans and photos, and then lifting the fossil. So everything is done very, very detailed, making sure that they know exactly what they're taking out when they take it out, and they have photos and scans so that even after it's taken out, they have the view intact for future reference. And then John Hawks again, well, just got to look at what they're scanning. 15 features are tagged there. So 15 things of interest. We don't know what they are here, but again, this expedition just keeps getting more and more cool stuff. And then a tease from the Rising Star account. Fantastic news coming out of the Science Tent at this point. Again, we don't know what it is. And it's interesting for us sitting here in the distance. We get greedy. Gosh, I see this and I want to know, what is the fantastic news? I want to run over to the Science Tent myself and find out. Of course, I can't. And I have to also understand that this is such an unusual thing. No other paleontological expedition has ever had this level of openness. So we would never even know the event itself is happening, let alone this level of detail. So sometimes we have to temper ourselves at this end, even though that may not be easy. John Hawks talking about the barefoot protocol, which the advanced team has been working with. It's giving them less of a chance of damaging objects that may be shallow in the sediment, things they can't see visually, but you may be able to feel with toes as opposed to shoes on so that they don't damage that. Going on the advanced chamber, which is where all these fossils tend to be, or the majority of them. It's a very challenging place to move through, and they're still surveying it. As I understand, and if someone from the team gets in contact with me and corrects me, I think the advanced chamber is about 5 meters by 7 meters. It's a small room, and yet you'd think, gosh, they've been in there all this time. They'd have this all cleared out, but it's a very, very delicate, very difficult area to work in. Then one of the advanced team moves across the floor. They do sort of a moonwalk, carefully picking steps in slow-mo. And again, using their toes and the like to make sure where they're stepping does not have anything that they could damage. Then we have an image here. Here's Maria and Becca in the cave. And this is one of the nice color images. This is from Ashley Kruger, who's one of the anthropologists at the command center. But here you get a nice view, and as I'm looking down in between them, you can see some of the fossils they're working on. I love this picture because it really gives you a sense of the conditions they're working in. That very little light just from the headlamps and some of the other lights, but darkness all around. So not an easy spot to be working. And I'm curious of what this is over here on the right side. Is that indeed that proximal femur that we heard referenced earlier? I don't know. I'm just guessing there. So we will hopefully get word on that at some point. And then here a little bit later, Dr. Berger, wow, frontal. So that would be, I'm presuming, the frontal bone of the skull. That's very encouraging. And then we have a new team member joining up. Scott Williams, expert on the vertebral column, has arrived. They'll have to find some vertebrae to keep him busy. And so far, I've heard no issue of them finding any of those. So that's things to know. And then an active hour here. New material coming up is very exciting. Meanwhile, more scans. So again, the team being good about scanning stuff. And again, it's not intended to be a tease, but it feels like a tease from here that, wow, there's so much cool stuff coming up. And here in the distance, we, of course, want to know what it is. But we have to be patient. And then, what a great thing here. We need more fossil boxes. A lot more. Because they've topped 400 specimens. Absolutely amazing. And then here's another view down in the chamber of the puzzle box, and you can see this is the command center, one of their screens. Okay, and again, you're getting a sense of the size of things. I can see bits of the wall here. Can see the far wall over here. So not a very large space in the advanced chamber there. And then, real quickly, please, please, please make sure you go and you read John Hawk's blog for today. What we know and what we don't know so far. He does an amazing job of explaining just what the title says, what we know, what we don't know, what they think they know but aren't ready to share. The very important stuff. So please make sure you access that. And this link to the National Geographic blog for Rising Star is on my page. So when you're done with this video, please go back and check that out. That is absolutely wonderful. Here's one of the quotes from that blog. Okay, we're here sharing science. Science isn't the answers. Science is the process, and that is one of the huge takeaways of this project, regardless of what the fossils tell us or don't tell us in the end. The fact that this has been so open and we're actually getting to see this happening, absolutely groundbreaking. I've in a number of tweets I've put out, I call it's a shift in paradigm. It's a change in how things are done. It's like a small-scale revolution, maybe a big one. Back to Scott Williams, our newcomer. Like clockwork, he comes on site and the advanced team starts finding vertebral fragments. Wow, that's awesome. And then this is also from the blog today. When you have a culture of openness, you must train people in responsible sharing. And that's very, very true. Once things are open, everyone needs to be working on the same team and not being self-serving there. And that is very, very critical moving forward. And then above ground here, we have one of the advanced team, Ellen, is sharing with us a panorama of the Cradle of Humankind, just to give you an idea. This is from Mariping, which is the Museum of the Cradle of Humankind, but this gives you an idea of the topography for those of you who've never seen that area before. And then this is my favorite tweet of the day, I think, from Lee Berger referencing Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger tent. And for those of you who are never seen the movie Jaws, they're out on the boat and they realize the shark is way bigger than they thought. And so the character Roy Scheider here, who's the local sheriff, he turns to Captain Quint and says, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." And indeed, here we need a bigger tent. The great success of all that has been gathered so far. And then after things have shut down for the day on the 20th, monster thunderstorm going over Rising Star right now. Wind, lightning, heavy rain. Tents are holding up fine. So that's good news. And then this is something I somehow overlooked yesterday, but that happened on the 19th that was significant. The team got a visit from the regional minister of tourism for this area, and you can see him, the tall gentleman standing in the middle there. Very important. This is recognized in South Africa as a major event, and so it's great to see that sort of attention from the South African government. So basically, that wraps us up here for November 20th. Thanks for being a part of this, and of course, I will update for tomorrow when we get more information. And thanks again to the team.